I feel like the deer hunter is incredibly impactful on our society, and we've forgotten that. But it has made an impact on filmographers all across the globe, and I'm sure it still is to this day. But I just don't want to underrate it at all. It's one of my favorite films, and I think it's one of the most impactful films that's ever been created.
Welcome to the Curtis YZ channel.
What is up, everybody? Let me pick a good picture. Look at these shots. Oh my god, that is so cool. Okay. You can see the smile on my face. Look, just this visual made me smile. Look at how freaking cool that is. Let me get it even bigger for you guys. What is up, everyone? Curtis YZ. I wanted to say thank you. I know I've been busy and I haven't been able to do reactions. I just wanted to do a movie commentary. Apparently my cat wants to say hello. She never gets camera time. She's not tall enough, but she's sitting on my lap now. We're gonna go over the deer hunter, just some of my favorite scenes. It'll be a real quick thing. Her tail makes it in the shot. Thank you so much for supporting me and leaving all your comments and just watching my reactions. It means a lot to me. And it just makes it so much more fun for me because when I'm doing the reactions right now, when I feel like I'm talking to people, you know, I'm not just talking to myself. And I've noticed that a lot with small channels. It's like, that's a big demotivator. It's like you just feel like you're talking to yourself. You're wasting your time. But anyways, I just wanted to go over this. I love this movie. It is definitely my #1 movie of all time right now. I mean, just still is. It's probably always going to be at this point because it's like the pinnacle of my consciousness to movies. I was just watching a Critical Drinker top 5 favorites discussion, and they were talking about The Big Red One, which I had seen a long time ago. I'm talking when I was like 13 maybe. I was really into Star Wars. I just wanted to see more Mark Hamill, and he was in that. I don't remember loving the movie. I thought it was okay. I liked it. I had it on DVD. I don't think I have it anymore. I kind of want to react to that one because I really don't remember a lot of it. And based off the intro that Critical Drinker was giving it, brought up memories. I'm like, oh yeah, I do vaguely remember those shots being like in Italy, and it was just sandy but just beautiful. And at the time I just couldn't appreciate it like I can appreciate now. You know, here I am, I'm looking for my favorite, a good shot to put me in the background, and this is what I chose because I loved the background scenery of this shot and just how happy it is. It's probably the happiest part of the movie, besides the wedding and all that, but this part is just so beautiful. And you know, if you know anything about me, I don't like beautiful stuff in movies. But this movie has really made me appreciate how to do that in a way that, to me, is how I prefer it now. Just thinking about all this has just made me realize how Star Wars led me to want to see more Mark Hamill and more, I watched Big Red One, and I liked war movies already because of like Saving Private Ryan, and it just kind of all clustered into this, and me stumbling into Big Red One, and then I watched Battle of Britain one. I had that. I watched it a couple of times as a kid. I think mainly to get through it because I had stopped halfway through. And I remember I saw what I thought was A Bridge Too Far as a kid. I thought, okay, this is a weird memory, but I remember like waking up and seeing it on TV and like really being like, whoa, this is really cool. And then so I remembered the name. I got it I rented it or something like that. I managed to get it somewhere. Put it in and started watching, and I was like, this is really boring. How come I'm not captivated like I was that first time? So I just kind of gave up and never watched it. And I thought maybe I was remembering a different movie. And my mission at that point was like, well, now I want to find what that movie really was. And I thought it was called something else. So I don't know. I never found it. So I kind of want to revisit that one now, because now maybe I'm more mature enough to see, you know, how cool it really was and all that. But I think it really was A Bridge Too Far. It's just for some reason I woke up and saw it on TV, and it was just like action-packed and just really cool to me. And then when I revisited it, because it wasn't immediately action-packed, I just couldn't get into it. So maybe that's what it was. Anyways, I want to revisit those ones. So Big Red One and maybe the Battle of Britain, and then definitely A Bridge Too Far, because Yeah, I think Battle of Britain too, because Michael Caine is in both of them. I think he probably in Big Red 1 too. But anyways, oh, and then Where Eagles Dare, Clint Eastwood in a World War II movie. Yeah, I gotta check that out. Anyway, I know it might not be like a typical World War II movie, but the way they're describing it is like these huge actors, great presence. Anyways, I wanted to check those out. Thought I would just, and don't think I forgot about Downfall or any other suggestions. I'm just saying that I'm gonna put those in the list. But so anyways, we're here mostly just to say thank you. Also, go check out Fudo Bros. Link is in the description. Go check out them. They are another reaction channel just so you can watch more. They could use your support. I just wanted to put that out there because I'm not going to be doing anything for a while, so go check them out. They'll be doing some reactions, I'm sure, for you. You know, go and give them some suggestions on what to watch, just like you guys have for me. And I just wanted to go over this movie real quick and say that I really am appreciative. It will be a minute until I can get back into the groove of things because I got to get a laptop, I got a new job, I got all this stuff. I'm gonna be traveling a lot more, so yeah. Hang on, I got a phone call. Alright, so yeah, things like that, interruptions with my new life changes and settling in with my new life, which will take, again, it's just gonna take time. Ugh, cat. Why do you have to get on me to sneeze? Nightmare.
Nightmare, 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 nightmare.
You can't do that.
It actually cured her retardation.
Oh. Now everything's messed up, Lovey. You screwed it all up. Why am I all red? This is not right. Come on now. So yeah. I've had a busy month, having to conserve money and pack up, and I'm getting ready for a new job. The Deer Hunter, it's one that's stuck with me immensely. It's very much like Blade Runner, how when I first watched it, I thought it was okay, or Big Red 1, like I thought it was okay, it was good. Wowed me more than most movies, but like, you know, I didn't think very much of it. Impressed, but didn't really think anything of it. I came back and saw it again and was way more impressed the second time around. I started to watch videos about it. Just like Blade Runner, you know, like I really wasn't impressed, and then I came back and was like, whoa, that's kind of okay. And then saw videos and I'm like, I gotta check it out. This one was a little different, where I was wowed the second time. Watched videos after, got wowed even more. Watched this again, and was just blown away that third time. So this is kind of my fourth, maybe fifth time coming, because I've fallen asleep. I've put this movie on a couple times just to fall asleep. I know it sounds weird, but I have, I'm pretty sure. But I only count those. Anyways, this is one of my favorite shots. You can just see how great the cinematographer is. He's able to like capture the people in focus, yet still has such great visual. I don't know how what is involved, but I know that I watched something on The Deer Hunter that they talked about this, and just the type of technique they use is special just to get these shots. So I just wanted to kind of, whoops, I don't want it to play, but yeah, it's got some just beautiful shots. Of course, got the wedding scene, which I'm gonna kind of skip over. It's very happy. It gives us a very important vibe that we need to know and acknowledge. But shortly after it does, where's the bar scene when they're playing the piano? This part's crazy too. I love it though, because like it shows De Niro, and other videos will explain this better than I can, but it shows De Niro in this like last attempt effort to express himself freely before they go off into this war, and it's kind of just, it just stays with you. He runs off and he strips down naked. Christopher Walken's character is the only one that is able to keep up with him, and they share some stories. something like that. I can't really remember. I'm not gonna play it right now. But where's the bar scene? Oh, but I do really like it when they talk to the veteran at the bar at the wedding. Notice the red on which character, where it is. Oh my gosh, very foreshadowy. I love it. Ugh, this whole scene, this whole hunting scene. Well, this interaction itself is awesome. I'm not going to reveal it. It does have some harsh language, very homophobic language as well. So it doesn't stand up very well. This one scene, actually, and some of the wedding scene, there's also some of this. Look, I just noticed. Anyway, to finish my comment, John Cazale's character, he's snotting out with his finger. But I love that's real. That's like a real thing that people did. I mean, still do. I love that they're showing that to us. But I won't show you it. So there is some harsh language through some of the wedding and in this scene, but the acting is incredible. It is important, that language, because that language is what stirs the tension. So it's used to great effect regardless. And I remember the first time I watched it, I hated Stan, John Cazale's character. I even called him Stan because I just remembered that. I love that about, and that's what makes me love Stan's character now, is that his character is so good at getting under your skin. And then once you know, for me at least, once you know his archetype as a character, I see a lot more humor in it. I see that he's just a weak person, unfortunately, and he's kind of crying out for attention and just always complaining kind of guy. And he just does it really good, though. It stays with me, and to me it's his best role. Still, it was the first one I saw, and after watching his whole filmography, it is my favorite still. I mean, I liked a lot of his work, but this one just, maybe it's just nostalgic, I don't know, but something about this character stood out the most to me. He certainly has a presence in this movie, which I really like, and so does Christopher Walken's character. The other friends have a good presence as well. Meryl Streep has a good presence, but Christopher Walken, Stan even, are kind of the three, and Robert De Niro, they're kind of the three for me. I don't know why that is. I don't know if Stan is like that for other people, but he seems so interlinked as the outsider friend, even more than the other friends like him. It seems like he should have been there with him, but wasn't, and that's why he's so interlinked. Like, he should have been there. Even Michael, no, his name is John Savage. John Savage, his character's there in the war, and he still even feels like a lesser presence to me at times than Stan's character does. So, I don't know. I'm going off, but let's get to the actual hunting scene. Oh my gosh, I love this scenery, how it's foggy up there. They're like so high up there, the clouds are with them. That is what I love about these visuals of him walking and running. And I don't know if it's like the clarity is not very high for me on my screen. I don't know if that's as high as it goes. It feels like it's a little low for some reason. Oh, the music is really good here, too. I don't even have my headphones on. I can hear it. I love this about this, because I've actually gone hunting, and there's just something about this vibe that they're portraying, to me, that is what hunting is. It's just an epic feeling watching it. It reminds me of going hunting with my grandpa and learning about firearms, and we never really ever saw much deer, so we ended up usually just target shooting. And I learned a lot about firearms from my grandpa and just being out in the woods. And that is another reason. It's got to be nostalgic, but it just seeing him stalk, it just makes me feel like I'm out there with my grandpa. Now, they didn't actually harm any deer in the making of this. They used a tranquilizer, and they had to wait several hours or an hour or something like that until it, got drowsy and fell over. And I don't know if they painted something on it beforehand or whatever, but that they got the shot. It looks amazing. So he goes up and he takes the shot. So here it is. The deer is actually starting to fade from the tranquilizers, and it is not actually injured. So they painted blood right there on its... Oh, you can't see it. right there, there's painted blood, like it got shot in the heart, and it just goes to sleep. And it's great because I thought this was real. I thought that was it dying, you know, for real. Just great. It's not actually harmed. And I just thought it was a kind of a cool thing for an old movie that you kind of would expect them to do something like that, but they didn't. Now, they did use some sort of deer carcass here. It's probably just some fake one, but immediately after... Oh, yeah, here it is. Here's the scene where they are playing in the lounge, and I believe that building is tore down now. There's another video. I'll link it in the description. I forget the channel name right now, but they actually go to these spots, and you can see what it looks like as it is today. So they come into the bar and they're happy and they're singing as they got the deer. As you can see in this lounge, there's deer all over the walls, cracking open beers, celebrating. And then this guy, I don't know his name, but he starts playing this somber music and everyone just kind of quiets and looks. It's great. And they also use like a certain technique for the sweat, and it's, as you can see, it looks very real. I never really thought anything of it. I just was convinced by whatever I was seeing. But now I know the directors back then, they did have a more solid form of sweat, and I wish they would kind of use that more. I don't know, I feel like Hollywood got sloppy with their sweat effects somewhere in there. You could just see, oh, you can just feel it. Look at these shots! Look at the, oh, okay, you can't see because of me, but look at how cool these shots are. How clear it is. That's a, these are special techniques back then. It just looks so cool. And so they're all sitting, listening. I just love it. And again, you can just see it on their face, like what they're heading into. And it's just that last moment. And it's just something about this scene is so good to me now. Another great shot. John Gazelle. It's just amazing shots to me. And then it cuts straight to war. Oh my gosh. Christopher Walken takes a shot. I think that's got to be foreshadowing too. Yeah, cuts directly to Vietnam. Now, the Vietnam War in this movie isn't anything especially amazing, but they do have some really interesting ways of depicting it rather quickly, but also pretty savage stuff happening, you know, on both sides. The director says he wasn't trying to be biased towards any side, and I believe it. It just looks like war to me, and that's what I really like about this depiction. It just looks like straight hell. There's not a lot of action. What little action we see is just very little, but in that little amount, got enough, which is very impressive to me. And then straight from that little amount, we go straight to them being already captured, and we don't see how it happens. It just doesn't matter. I love that about it, though. It just doesn't matter. They were captured. We see that. They're now here. Well, they first regroup with, yeah. I'm just going to try and skip as much as I can. Oh, yeah, they even tried using some real footage, too, and they tried their best to make the footage look so grainy like that. Like right here, that I guess they were saturating the film so hard that it was just at its limit. So just keep that in mind when you're watching. If you rewatch this movie, a lot of these shots here are just actually special effects. Not special effects, but like they worked hard to make this look like the old news film footage. Oh, it's not. It's Christopher Walken. Okay, so they reunite, and then it cuts to them being captured at this hut. And a lot of dramatic stuff happens. So a lot of crazy stuff happens in this scene. And it's pivotal for the movie. Like, this is some of the most vital action in the movie. It's crazy good action, too. That's why I don't even care how little war they show, because this part is their war. Them in this shack. I'm just not even going to say anything else. That's what happens. That shack is a big, big mystery box. You got to open that for yourself, because it is craziness. Once you see what's inside that mystery box, it could possibly change your life like it did for me. Because after I witnessed this scene, it is just one of the most terrifying and crazy acting I've ever seen. It's just really intense, and it's just some of the best acting I've ever seen in my life. It's probably the best scene I've ever seen in my life. It just, everything about this scene is everything I wish I could be talking about right now. But I already have actually made a video on it, and this company that owns this movie or whatever, they struck it with a copyright, and I ended up just being like okay with it. So I'm not even going to touch this scene. But if you really want to find it, you could find it. Let's continue on. They're down the river, and a lot of these stunts are real, by the real actors. And even before this part, there was another stunt that happened. There was an accident. They're trying to get on. So they're on this bridge, and the helicopter actually got snagged underneath the rope. So right here, it's actually going to get snagged. Right there. It's... Holy crap. Yeah, it's right there. You can't see it because I'm in the way. This cable is under this helicopter's landing gear. The landing gear just went underneath the cable. Oh god. Yeah, it's trying to pull up right now, and it's pulling the whole bridge up. It's so crazy. Okay, at that point they got it off. That was a crazy stunt too, though. That guy hanging on. I don't know if you could see it. This guy. That's crazy. It just looks crazy. I don't know how dangerous he might have been secured as heck on that, but just like his legs flailing like that, it just looked so cool. Oh, here it is. So this tree got snagged as well. That's what I got confused. Right here, it gets snagged. Look at them. Look at them. They got drug across over that tree, and luckily none of them were hurt or anything. But that's a real stunt, a real accident. They didn't anticipate it to happen. Anyways, continuing on, very impressive stuff. They make it to village basically. One of them is extremely injured. One of them fell from the helicopter once they took off. One of the friends goes down and saves him, and they finally make it back to safety, essentially. Now, Christopher Walken won the Academy Award for Best Actor or something like that from this performance right here, and I agree with it. It is incredibly realistic to me. He's trying to answer him questions. This guy's trying to like psychologically analyze him or whatever, and so Christopher Walken's trying to answer his questions.
All right, let me see your name tag.
My mother's name is Eva.
And what are your parents' dates of birth?
Every time he tried speaking, like a wave of emotion just like reached my eyes. Just incredible acting. Moving on, I really love these scenes too. I love the atmosphere. He's walking through, and he just kind of just is lured by this darkness. Just some of these shots, these dark shots here, are some of my favorite shots of all. Just, I love all of them. I know it's not coming across like very strong on the screen probably, but trust me, when you're watching this movie, like watch it in darkness, it looks so cool, and just all these scenes. Look at this guy, he's just like barely illuminated in the dark. His car is just like shimmering.
I cannot play this kind of game myself, but
so he talks to this guy, kind of makes a deal with the devil, and just something about this scene is just so weird but cool, and just scary and eerie and mystery, intriguing. It's powerful for that reason. It's so alluring, and I totally understand why his character was somehow drawn to it. I don't think I would be drawn to it, but at the same time, I understand the desire to just be out there and exploring and just seeing. You've never been this new country, just like all this nightlife, but everything's so dark and forested, and it's just something about all of that. So later, you know, Robert De Niro's character is trying to return home, and he really can't make it home. Every time he tries going past the house, he ends up going past it and he ends up getting a hotel or a motel. He can't muster up the courage to see his old friends and his old family, and it's just kind of heartbreaking. Another really great scene. He just kind of sits in this motel, unable to see his family because he feels just like a different person. It's easier to understand and feel what he's feeling. It's hard to articulate the feeling. And so yeah, he's here, he's like looking over behind, you know, it's just kind of heartbreaking, but good scenes. Some more things happen, I don't really want to spoil. Oh god. Okay, this scene though, I did want to go over because this was a real stunt, and it's kind of relevant. Rest in peace, Helena Hutchins. Stan, John Cazale's character, wanted to do this for real, and he checked it several times to make sure the gun was empty. And this was a real stunt that happened.
Hey! How do you feel now? Huh? Hey! Big shot!
This face is perfectly paused. That is the face of a man that has seen some shit and has done some shit. And that whole scene, though, was a real gun, real empty chamber. John Cazale checked it several times before. Several times. He said he checked it several times before he handed that gun to Robert De Niro and told him to do that. And this is a man that had cancer and died shortly after the making of this film. This is how important gun safety and training is. It's really not that hard. All you really had to do is check it once. But he didn't. He checked it several times and made sure that that gun was empty, 100%. You don't mess around with weaponry. Not even knives, nothing. Not weaponry. Anything that's sharp, you gotta be careful. You know how easy it is to step on a nail? I've done it. Just walking on wood and all of a sudden I stepped on a nail. It was so fast, I didn't feel nothing. There's no pain. The only pain I felt was trying to walk afterwards. But before that, it was just complete shock and realizing I stepped completely on a nail and didn't even feel it. All I knew is that I felt it. I felt it enough that I knew I did it, but there was no pain. It was just the feeling of something is now in my foot, and then I immediately took it off, and then now there's a hole in my foot. Now I didn't go all the way through, but it penetrated pretty deep, and it was really freaking weird. You know that? Yeah. You gotta be careful out there. This scene was a real gun, a real empty chamber, and John Cazale wanted it to be real. Because he wanted it to be as authentic as possible. What a great scene, an acting scene, tension, incredible scene, this whole scene. I really like what happens, I believe, next. It's also interesting that John Cazale had a very, if not maybe the same, but a revolver in The Godfather Part 1. Stan is his name in, I believe, there's another Stan. There's a whole bunch of weird, like, Michael names, and Stan and Sonny. All of those names back then were just a lot more common, apparently. But, yeah, he has the revolver in Godfather and fumbles with it, and he's always carrying this revolver in this movie, so it's kind of just a weird. I love it, though. It's something like a unique trait that just happened to be a part of his characters a lot of the time. In my memory now, it's just him, he's got this revolver and he's just always fumbling with it, or this revolver is always somehow the problem. Oh yeah, there's another weird thing. There's a revolver in, there was another movie, and it was, I think, Meryl Streep's, she was directing it, or she was, I can't remember, but it just revolvers, like the little snub-nosed chrome revolver, it was in some other movie too, and I was like, God, that's got to be a Deer Hunter reference. I felt like it had to have been. Anyways, I feel like the Deer Hunter is incredibly impactful on our society, and we've forgotten that. But it has made an impact on filmographers all across the globe, and I'm sure it still is to this day. But I just don't want to underrate it at all. It's one of my favorite films, and I think it's one of the most impactful films that's ever been created. I know it's not, doesn't seem like a war film to everybody, but to me this is everything war. This is the effects of war. This is showing the audience the side of war that we never really see. It's what the effects of the home life and all the friends and everything that happened after the war. It does show a little bit of the war, but to me this is like just that side of that war that we never see in war movies. You might get glimpses of it, but this is like a whole movie about the effect of war and the before and the after. to me, it's just a solid picture, a solid overall picture of war. That's why it's the best war film to me. That's why it's such a good movie to me, and why it's my #1 film. But it's still also, to me, the best war film as well. I love war films, so it's just naturally at the top for me now. Because it's just such a unique take. It's different, it's real. Its message is pure. It's trying to show us the reality. That's what I love about this movie. It's nothing but truth. It does not try to be anything but truthful. So he goes out and he throws that revolver. Okay, so I guess it was the scene before. He's hunting. And it's beautiful again. He's stalking his deer. And it's just like a great ride to watch him following this deer. It's done great. So he's chasing it, and he can't really get a shot on it. And then he comes to this clearing. Oh, he doesn't have a shot again. It's just really well done how this is all shot. But especially this last shot. And the music again comes in. It's just beautiful. Look at this. Oh, wow. That was so great. Oh, such a great visual of him aiming, his face concentrated, like that unique face you get. That concentrated face. You don't see this a lot, and even in acting, you don't see it a lot. And it's just such a great, perfect shot of the angle. Everything is. He's looking at him. And he decides to not shoot him. And what an arc. He no longer can kill. He doesn't want to do anything else like this anymore. And hunting is ruined for him. War has ruined hunting. Something that you need to do to survive, generally speaking. Kind of symbolically speaking, that's what it's saying. Amazing shots. Look at this. Just beautiful. The river. Something about this movie is just breathtaking. The visuals are amazing. I can't even emphasize that enough. So there's more to the movie. Obviously, there's a lot more happening and tragedy. There's another character that's still in Vietnam. He hasn't returned home, and Robert De Niro's character tries to go back over there, and well, more stuff happens. And again, it just relates back to that mystery box, and I don't dare tell you. All I want to say is it was only one shot too. Like, they only did one take, and they made the shot work, and it was an amazing scene and just heartbreaking. And then the last shot is one of the best endings of all time. Just one of the... Oh, I love it when they do this, too, because, okay, it's perfect ending. It's such a sad ending. I literally I feel it immediately the second I heard him start singing. Then it ends. They're all singing it, but then it ends with this, and it shows all of our characters, kind of like in Predator. And it somehow is able to relift my spirits. Seeing all the happy moments and seeing their names, and they show only the happiest of moments, basically. See, he really didn't have a lot of happy moments. He was just that guy that complained a lot. But see how immediately I laughed at his character. His character is just once you see the movie for what it is, his character really changes. You almost pity him, and he's just kind of a goof. He is minuscule in comparison to the trauma that I know is going to be happening soon. That's why his character is almost comedic, because it just doesn't even matter. Anyways, that's my commentary on The Deer Hunter. I wish I could react to this movie, but I mean, I don't even know how I would react to it to my first time, because it's a special movie to me where it's like it's slowly grown into the #1 spot for me. It's not because it was so impactful, action-packed, and fun. It was because it meant so much. This movie meant a lot to the director, to the people that made it, and it meant a lot to me once I understood how much the story message was, like how important the message was. And yeah, that's just how I see it. Anyways, The Deer Hunter, the #1 war film of all time. Thanks so much for watching. And check the links in the description. Check out the channels. Help support other creators that aren't as widely known as all these other people. There's a lot of people that are doing this, and they could use your support too. So thank you, and take it easy, everyone.